And get to the Taco Casa hotline and bring in Coach Bill Clark. His UAB Blazers last year, 11-3, 7-1 in the league, won the Conference USA off to a 1-0 start. Dad, I'll let you bring Coach Clark into the show.
Well, I know he's busy, and I hate to have him on at 7:30 after a game, and but I appreciate him because his dad and I have been close for years. And Bill, congratulations on that win last night.
Well, we survived it, which sometimes you got to do. So good to get it behind us. I think I've been there since about 4. So
well, yeah. Sometimes people start in about the offense. I want you to tell our listeners your overall. I know you held them in the last 6 minutes. I don't think you're pleased. I don't know that you are. I know you're glad to win. Talk a little bit about your defense last night.
Well, other than a play, a couple plays early on, we had the long run, and then we had a turnover on a kickoff return, which is, that's the thing you preach about is turnovers, and we turn it over and then they score. And that's when after that, the defense played really well. We had one drive at the end. We gave up, and we had a short field and had to hold them on the goal line. So, really what you want in those kind of games is, and those kind of where you don't play like you wanted to and probably how they wanted to in a lot of ways. You can give the other team credit, but it probably feels like a loss to our kids, but it wasn't a loss. So
no, it certainly were. And you had a great crowd there, and I think you're going to be good defensively. I think holding what you did, intercepting the pass in the last 6 minutes of the game, and that's a drive that you've got to stop.
Well, I think that's one of the things we talk about, and for this whole group, we had probably our best defensive player pulled his hamstring. Chris Moe pulled a hamstring on Sunday in that practice. We thought we'd get him back, and he just couldn't go in warm-ups, and we knew we would need him down the stretch. But, I gave other guys a chance to step up, and I think defensively, we've got about 2 guys back from that unit last year after we lost Bronte Harrison about that second practice. So just a lot of unproven guys really on both sides of the ball as far as just actual game experience. So hopefully this goes a long way for us.
We're talking with Coach Bill Clark with UAB off to a 1-0 start. Coach, you preach a lot of things in practice, but sometimes you got to get to the game, and then the kids make mistakes, things that you've been trying to tell them in practice. But I think now when you go back to the practice field, maybe you'll have their attention. You got some things on film now to show those guys, and the goal is to improve each practice, each game. So now you guys got some stuff to show these kids.
Oh, exactly. And I think that's what we talk about. The game's just a totally different mindset, a totally different effort. And I think we try and simulate it in practice. And I went back. I remember our first year when we went to Ball State that second game, and I saw it game 1, but I really saw it on the road. You cannot simulate games, and you hope your older guys can pull you through. We were eating pregame meal, and I looked up, and there's 10 guys at the when the seniors eat first, there's 10 of them standing up there, and the whole rest of the team sitting down. So we just got, I think this group will get better every week. I'm telling myself that right now because I'm not real happy, but at the same time, that's what coaching is for. We've got to keep getting better, and I know we will.
Yeah, Dad.
You got Akron next, is that right?
That's right, Akron.
Have they changed a lot since the coaching change?
That's a good question. I'm kind of waiting on this first game.
Illinois.
That's the stuff so that's things you don't know. It's like when we played last night, the offensive coordinator, who's a good coach, had not coached I think he had a daughter that for whatever reason he had forced him out of coaching, and I think she might have had some kind of health issue or whatever. And we were talking. I've known him for a long time. Well, he didn't coach last year. We had no film to go on, and they were smart enough not to let anything get out. So sometimes you just kind of grasping at straws. And we've been looking at Akron's coaches from last year. They were at Chattanooga, so I'm just excited to have a game to kind of look at and see where at least kind of what they're thinking.
Yeah.
Well, basically, you had to look at Chattanooga of last year to really find out a little bit about them, right?
That's correct.
And then of course, Illinois, I think, is Saturday game at 11 o'clock. So.
Yes, I'm looking forward to at least having a game to kind of go to see. And we won't know everything, so it'll give us something, at least personnel and who does what well and kind of what they're thinking. But, we used Chattanooga from last year as up to this point, kind of as our basis in the summer when we're studying them. Barry?
Coach, been a lot of talk about this, about practicing. You guys leading up to your first game. How much do we practice tackling? We don't want to get guys hurt, but if we don't tackle and we don't practice tackling, we're not going to be able to do it in the game. What's you guys' philosophy there at UAB about how you practice and what you do to be ready for the games?
Yeah, I think that's always been something that I think is kind of a hidden secret for us. We've always locked up when we have pads on. And what that means is the defense has to lock the runner up before he's still running. And I've heard guys tagging off. And, the big thing that I constantly talk about is stay off the ground but lock up. And if, playing defense, the hardest thing to do is tackle a guy running full speed and not go to the ground. So, we'll do the same thing with our line and D-line. I think it just seems like if a guy goes down to the ground today, he seems injured. I don't know if they're just not used to going down or what it is, but, and also these guys are so much stronger and faster than they've ever been. I don't know what those causes are, but, we've done a pretty good job. We don't get many guys, banged up in practice, but we do lock up. And I think that's why we've played pretty good defense through the years.
Talk about the excitement around your program. You guys come off an 11-win season. You got a new stadium going up downtown. It's got to be an all-time high for UAB football right now, the excitement, because the big crowd you had last night as well showed that.
Well, I think we've got what we want is we're starting to create some expectations. People are getting excited. And, I don't like to sit and whine, and obviously when you're a coach's son, you brought up with zero excuses. But we knew this was going to be at least a young year for our guys, but, we still expect to be good. So I want our people to have expectations. I want them to want us to be good. This is the year we kind of pointed to because we had to replace all those junior college players we had to bring in to get the program back. So the future's bright for our program. I'm super excited about just what's going on. We got the new stadium on the way, all our facilities, all that's going on at UAB, all that's going on at Birmingham. So a lot of great things on the way.
Yep.
Big run by Mitchell last night, and Tyler played well as well. A little bit about your offense.
Yeah, I think the big question for us was those O-linemen. I think we got some receivers that are disappointed. Meyer made the great kickoff return. He dropped a touchdown pass. Parham had the touchdown catch, and he drops a speed sweep that's there and a catch at the end of the game. So that's the things that hopefully we can correct. Tyler, I think, played good. I think he had some plays he'd, of course, like everybody, would like to get back. I'm interested to see this film. I've been running through the defense first, then I'm going to look at the offense. But just to see how our O-line played and, give Alabama State credit. A defense coordinator who I've known for years, in South Alabama. When you get in there and put 9 guys in the box and play cover zero, if you got some really good athletes out there, you're just saying, okay, we're going to take a chance. And if you beat us, you beat us. And I think sometimes when you've got nothing to lose, and Coach playing those teams that basically said, hey, we're not supposed to win anyway. And if we do, so we can take some chances, turn it all loose. And I give them credit. That's what they did, some of their coverages.
Coach, I see here you coached at Coffee High School at one time. Did you shoot any jump shots in the Winfrey Sanderson Gymnasium over there ever?
Well, I was at Coffee County in Georgia.
Oh, I wasn't. I said, Wikipedia is wrong. It says Coffee High School. It has Alabama on there. So.
Yeah, it's Coffee County, Georgia. I went to South Georgia for 2 years. We played Valdosta, Colquitt, and Tifton, and all those guys, which was kind of like what we were in Prattville with us and Hoover and them. It's kind of college football in high school.
Well, talk about the jump. I think there's a lot of great coaches in high school. Football is football. I know you started in high school, and now you've done such a great job there at UAB. Just talk about maybe the difference.
Well, I think, it's all based on really good. It's a lot about where you are, but there's so many good coaches in all levels. And I think what happens when you go get a guy in high school who's kind of been to that top level, that's very college-like. And, where we were at Prattville and some of our big programs is almost everything, but the recruiting is almost the exact same. So I think there's a great preparation, plus the amount of work and just dealing with kids and taking the kids that are in your community. So, how you train them, how you make them better. And I think that's the thing a lot of times when we get to college and everybody says it's all about the Jimmys and Joes. And that is important, but we feel like you got to train them and make them better as well. So I think that's a preparation a lot of high school coaches
What
is taking what's in their town and making it better.
Yeah, what is UAB's? Some people say, hey, take a 5-hour radius, circle it. That's got to be your main recruiting wise where you go. I know you guys will go to the JUCOs. So what's the recruiting footprint for UAB?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I think that's our definite start. We're starting to get more and more local kids, and once again for them, football is so important. Around here, they're coached well, they're taught well, and obviously, you get a guy who's played every position in high school, he never came off the field. That's the guys that you got to spend more time with because they're just they're good at a lot of things, but maybe not just that specific position. But I love getting our local guys, and those were the guys we were having trouble with when we first got here because they just didn't see a commitment. And so I think what's happening now, they are. But like everybody, we're always going to go out and get some junior college players, and we've got such great relationships now. And then we'll get a kid out of Miami or wherever based on a relationship or whatever. But UAB is such a great school, and Birmingham's such a great town where, we've got access to a lot more people just because they like what's going on here.
Yeah.
Well, Bill, we really appreciate you being on. I know it's a busy time for you. I appreciate it so much because I know you got to look at film. And tell Reagan I said hey, and good luck the rest of the year.
I will. My family thinks the world of you, and glad to join you this morning. Thanks for having me on.
Good luck, Coach. Congrats on last night.